Hello humans and non-humans, welcome. I'm Naomi Beth. I call myself the Naughty Oracle. I'm here to talk about a topic that I really don't know much about, but that I do all the time. It's about doing grid work in the energy sense. So I only understood that I was doing this probably in the last 5 years. When I understood that, this is what I'm doing, then it made sense, all the stuff that was happening to me. So I'm hoping that my experiences with it also can help you understand that if you are a grid worker or an energy worker or a light worker, or you call yourself the shaman or your energy worker or whatever you want to call yourself, that this could possibly be what you might be helping with in the energetic sense of the world. So grid working, mainly, it involves, so we have our beautiful planet and we have a grid of energy that surrounds this beautiful planet. And in this grid of energy, you could call it like the cloud. So you know how we store stuff up in the cloud with our data, etc. Well, this is similar to what the grid work is that our past lives stored up in the cloud, or the grid, the energy consciousness of the planet is stored in the grid. So there's a program of stuff surrounding our planet that we can tap into, that we can acknowledge, that we can heal, that we can process, that we can create. So there's not only, so the way I see it is that your creation, if you're going to create something in this world, so say it's a new card deck like I've been doing, it exists in the grid of the planet first. It's been placed there by higher source. It is there waiting for you to bring to the planet, and you tap into that higher source grid part, and you then bring it down into the earth plane to exist as something that can be tangible. Okay, so like these are my cards that I do for myself, the Naughty Oracle, and they'll be out hopefully at the end of 2022. They're in the middle of being published, so they're all here. And yes, so for me, like people say, how do you do that? How do you do that? Well, it's actually me sitting down with myself and connecting to the higher vibrational source, and then bringing in whatever needs to filter in to me. That's part of grid working. Okay, so anything creative on this planet comes through the grid of the planet. So it can be like a protective grid. It can be a lesson grid. So like all the lessons, like the wars and everything else, it's all there for us to tap into that knowledge of this is the past, or this is what has happened to humanity. And do we learn from that, or do we repeat that? So and yes, the grid can be manipulated, it can be rearranged, and so that's where the grid workers in the light working form come into the mix of what's happening with the energetic world. So as a grid worker, I am subconsciously clearing the grid of anything that's not here for our highest good. So I don't consciously do it. My soul body, my subconscious, will go and do its thing. And I'm okay with that, because a lot of the time you don't need to know. You don't need to know the story behind it. Sometimes a flash of image to acknowledge it is enough, or the word, like the emotion that flashes in, is enough to acknowledge the pattern that that emotion is creating, to release it and process it. A lot of people think that they have to get into the source and you know, really delve into the images and relive that thing. Not as much, okay? So if you feel you need to do that, though, be the observer of that situation, that trauma that you have been in. So that's how I see myself working, because I have had visions of myself doing this work, and it is connected to the dream work that I do at night. So when I'm actually doing the dream work, the processing of energy, I'm actually processing the grid work, okay, or the grid of the planet and the consciousness of the planet. So whatever needs to be cleared at the time, it could be my personal stuff that's been stored up in the grid. It could be family, ancestral patterns that I need to go and clear. It could be relationship patterns and consciousness that is you know, like the male-female unbalanced issues that I will go and clear in the consciousness of the planet. So I may get little visions, like my little dreams that I wake up with, but I've actually probably been doing hours of work, and then they give me, you know, 2 minutes of what the result is, or the pattern that I was breaking. That's how I do the grid work. I'm natural at doing that. I don't have to consciously be aware of me doing that. But it's interesting to know that once I understood that that's what I was doing, I accepted that in myself. And then as a human form, I can just acknowledge that I'm here to help clear the consciousness and clear the crap, basically, of everybody and the planet as much as possible. So that is what a light worker's job is to do, is to weave, okay, weave through the energy. So I look at myself as, you know, I love physical cross stitch in the little form, you know, little crosses to create beautiful images. And from that, in the physical form, I know that I'm weaving, and usually I've seen myself weave gold light, you know, through the grid to clear different coloured lights and things like that, to help different coloured energy sources to help clear and rearrange it for the highest good of all concerned. So if there is something trying to manipulate a certain situation, you can go in with light and go only if it's for our highest good. If it is for the majority of the highest good of all, then yes, it needs to take place. Okay, so it doesn't mean that it's good or bad. Sometimes you need some crappy stuff to happen in your life to wake yourself up to your patterns so you don't repeat them. Okay, that is very important to understand that we are not here to just light everything up and make it better. We are here to create a learning planet, to enjoy each other's company, experience everything that is here to experience in our what we want to experience, what makes us happy, and to understand that we have to go within and find that happiness within. Okay, so the grid work, very interesting topic. Not so much fun because it depends on you know, my subconscious self will go and do stuff, and then I'll wake up in the morning and go, oh my gosh, girl, what the crap did you do? And it'll be like, right, that's it. And then like my subconscious self is like, you're right, you've got nothing else to do in the physical world today, you can rest. And I'm like, oh, but I feel like crap. But then I do, okay, I will try to rest, but you know, I've got bookwork to do, and I've got this to do, and they're like, right, stop that. I'm like, okay, I will rest today, and I will not do, I will just survive. I will do the survival mode, because I've been working all night on a specific consciousness that needed to be rewoven in the grid to become higher consciousness, basically. All right, I hope you like that. It's a bit different. But yeah, it's something that I needed to acknowledge and to share. And I know that there are light workers and starseeds, or whatever you want to call yourselves. They're doing grid working courses and stuff. If you're interested, go search and find them, you know, like, yeah, or do a comment below and ask me any questions about the video. That's fine. Yeah, just know that sometimes I probably won't be able to answer them, because I do this stuff subconsciously. So, and it's just me my conscious self acknowledges that my subconscious is actually in different dimensions doing this work. So yeah, so it's very interesting. And this is my normal. This is my normal. So those of you who feel like, oh my gosh, I'm tired all the time, what's going on with my body, and they can't find anything physically wrong, okay, start talking to your subconscious, start talking to your soul, and start asking them, you know, are you part of this group of beings on this planet who are working hard to create more light and more consciousness on the planet? Yeah, just start the conversation to really, yeah, get yourself working with that. Now, always only do it for, you know, your conscious self, no harm to none, as always, and for the highest good of all concerned. That's always, always, always the provisos, okay? So I think you're noticing my twisty packets. So those of you in Australia will know what twisties are. Twisties are actually chips. They're like a cheese twisty thing. So anyway, they're called twisties, and their motto is life is pretty straight without a twisty, because they are twisted little chunks of cheese chips. My childhood, I grew up on twisties. Love them to pieces. So when I like to wear these earrings, it reminds me that life's pretty straight without any twists. So it's okay to have the twist in the grid. Okay, it's okay to light them up or retwist them in a better format for the highest consciousness of everybody. So I just wanted to touch base with you there for that one. Yeah, grid work. It's an interesting concept. I hope you enjoy it. Yeah, and if you've got any questions, comment below, like, share, subscribe. Okay, sounds good. I'm done. Thanks, guys. Catch us next time. Bye.